Hi, in this video, we'll talk about how to work with Elementor containers. So why use Elementor containers? Because Elementor containers have a lot less DOM than Elementor sections. And for this, your website will run as much faster than sections. So just for the performance, I believe we all should use the Elementor containers. So first, to enable the Elementor containers, let's go to Settings, Features, and then use the Flexbox container to active and save changes. All right. So let's create a new page, add new, and for now we will use the Elementor canvas. You can use anything you want, but just for this video I will be using Elementor canvas. So let's name it Elementor tutorial, click publish, and then edit with Elementor. So if I click here, you can see that Elementor is asking for the structure. Let's start with the regular. Okay. So from here, we will use this heading. I guess it's hard to see what's in here, so I will just use some padding here so that you can see 25%, 20%. Looks better. So okay, so this is heading, and now if I add another heading here, so okay, border will be blue, and this will have the border of black. Okay, so this will be hello world, and this will be hello 1 2. Okay, so as you can see, they are stacking one after another. So if I just duplicate this and three, so you can see that they are stacking one after another. So now if I select the container here and change the direction to, so currently we are using the column vertical. So if I use the column reversed, you'll see that the number 3 is now on top, and that's the regular one, and it's the reversed ones. And if I click the horizontal, they are positioning one after another, and the reverse will happen to row reversed. So depending on if you're using column or row, you will have a little bit different justify content. So let's say we'll start with column vertical. So now if I use justify content to start, center, and this won't work because we will first have to have a fixed height for our parent container that is containing all these heading elements. So let's do this. Instead of using padding, we'll simply use a minimum height of 90 V8. So as you can see, just follow the pink border here. You can see that the container is now much bigger, and these three are stacking on top of our container. So let's use the justify content. This is the start. This is the default one, and this is the center. Now you can see they are now placed in the center of our container, and that's the end. And there are space between, so perfectly aligned across our container, space around, and space evenly. Right? Okay. Now let's. Uh, by the way, the reversed one, the column reversed, works the same way too. That's the start, center, that's the end, space between, space around, space evenly. Okay, now let's work with the row horizontal. Okay, so you can see that they are stretched all across the container. Now they are in this starting of our container. That's the center, that's the end. Space between, space around, space evenly. Now you can align the items here. Start, center, and stretch. Currently they are stretched across the container. If we just select end, you will see that they are in the end. Center, start. If we just don't select anything, the default one, stretched one, will be selected. Now select the center, and here the center. Now they're center in our screen. Okay, so the gap between the elements, as I just increase it, you'll see the default gap between each element. The default one is 20. So let's see for the column vertical, we can also align items here, start, stretch, and center, and then this one. So you'll just have to play with it to get a little bit of idea. I hope you already got one. And the most important is the no wrap and wrap. So let's say we have a row horizontal and there are three elements. So if I let's duplicate it and let's name it 4, and let's um, decrease the width of our container to 500 pixel. Now you can see that they are trying to make space in here, but still they are not making a second line because the wrap is no wrap. So what they will have to do, they will have to stick inside one line. They cannot make a second line. So if I make another heading, duplicate, let's rename it 5. So the text is overlapping the, the, the section or the container. So here, what we'll have to do, select the container and select wrap. Now you can see that they are all making their separate lines. If there's no space in the container, now just if we select start, select center, and let's select end, center, and then start, and space between, space around, space evenly, and there's so much space between between each line is because our container has a minimum height of 90 VH. Let's cut that, and you'll see that they are all just working perfectly. Let's just use the heading here as usual, um, heading to 20%. Now you can see that they're working just fine. Hopefully this will help. And another thing you should know is that these all are using the CSS Flexbox. So basically, this is the Flex parent, and inside of Flex parent, the direct children, they are the direct children of the container. So they are Flex child. If you want to change anything here, you can find the advanced tab, and you can just change their alignment here. But this will not work here. But in some certain points, you will know how to use. They're not that necessary at the moment. You'll just to know the basics about how to work with the container, how to align the children, and then the order. The let's say this is the heading one. This is heading two, three, four, five. So heading five. Let's say change the order. So as you can see that the heading one, which is the hello world, is on the last. Let's say I want to make heading two the last. So it comes again. Let's say heading five. We'll move heading five to the start. Yes, you can see that heading 5 is on the start. For the size, let's say I want heading 5 to take all the space, grow. Okay, so it took most of the space, and even you can even increase the number, but it won't work. Okay, so hopefully this helps. Let me know your thoughts about this tutorial. Thank you.